I showed you how to solve the second layer of the Rubik's Cube. And before that, I showed you how to solve the first layer of the Rubik's Cube. Now, what you're going to need to do, because you can't really solve the last layer like this, so you're going to have to turn it twice, so it's like this. The first step is to get the cross, which looks like this. This is the cross because we're just covering up all the corners. Now we're just looking at the edge pieces and the centerpiece. The cross, like the white cross, is what we want to get first before we put the corners in, like we did with the first layer. So now there are some other cases that you might get. For example, this is called the backwards L, or the L, or these two other shapes. I call it the backwards L, or the L, because those are just easier terms to memorize than 90 degrees clockwise turned L, or 180 degrees counterclockwise turned 90 degrees counterclockwise turn. So I just like to stick with this just to keep it short and simple. And remember, we're not really looking at the corners right now. So here, what you would do to solve this is that you would put this in the backwards L position by either rotating your cube or by moving the U layer. The U layer in this case is the top layer, which is the full third layer. So, why does this work? The algorithm that I'm about to show you. Well, in all the cases when this backward L is here, these just need to be swapped or flipped. So, this algorithm does that thing. It just swaps it and flips it. If it's not here, that means you didn't see my other videos for the first and second layers. And it's not always going to be in the backwards L position. It can be in other positions too, such as the L. Or the I or the line, whichever one you would like to call it. So, how do we solve this? Well, I'll come to that, but there's another case that you might get, which is just the centerpiece. So, let's start with just the centerpiece. How do you solve it to the next step? Well, once you solve it with this algorithm, you'll get it to one of those other cases, which is the backwards L or the horizontal line. Let's do the algorithm for the backwards L. And that algorithm, what I mean by that is, let's apply that algorithm that you need to solve for the backwards L to go to the cross. And let's see what happens. The algorithm is, essentially what this algorithm is doing is just swapping all of these, but let's get started. So the algorithm is F, U, R, U inverted, R inverted, F inverted. Now you may think this is an H, but it's just an L, or a horizontal line. A horizontal line is a better way of thinking about it because you're gonna need to put it in the horizontal line formation by moving the U layer, the third layer, around. It doesn't matter if it's like this or if it's like this. So, how do we solve this? Well, here there's a direct algorithm to going to the cross. You don't go to another case where you just directly go to the cross from here. the algorithm to solve this is F, R, U, R inverted, U inverted, F inverted. I'll give you some tips on how to memorize these. So, this is the cross. But there's one more case that I haven't covered yet. I've only covered it briefly. That is the backwards L. How do we solve this? Well, what you need to do is move the U there so that it's like a backwards L. I mentioned that a few times before. And you just do this algorithm. F, U, R, U inverted, R inverted, F inverted. Do you recognize this algorithm? Well, it was the algorithm that we used to bring the centerpiece to a line. So, now, if you followed along, you must have a cross. The next step is to bring it so that all of these edge pieces are properly aligned, like this. So, there are two cases that you might have if you didn't have the fully aligned case. We're still not caring about the corner pieces right now. So, the two cases that you can get are this case. This case, if we turn the U layer, we can see that these two adjacent edge pieces are aligned, but these ones aren't. No matter which way you move this, these two are not going to be aligned together. Or this is not going to be aligned when another edge piece is aligned. And it's the same principle with this one as well. So, now, the other case that you can get is this case. Let's start from here. This is opposite from this. This is opposite from this. But, uh-oh. This and this are all good, but these need to be swapped. So, you might think that it has something to do with the middle layer, but not really in this case. In this case, you wouldn't put it like that, but you would put it like that, with one of these pointing towards you. Then do this algorithm. R, U, R inverted U, R, U2, R inverted. Okay, so now this other case happens. It's similar to bringing the dot or the centerpiece to a line. You have to use the algorithm and bring it to one of the other cases and then bring it to the cross. Here, these two are adjacent, and we put one in the back and the other one in the right. This has to be done by moving the U layer. And they both need to be aligned. So, R, U, R inverted U, R, U2, R inverted. It's the same algorithm, and now all of them are aligned. Okay, now we start caring about the corner pieces. In this case, the corner pieces, we don't have any corner pieces that actually belong in their spots in this case. What I mean by that is this clearly does not belong here because it's red and there's no red here. This clearly does not belong here because this is orange and this is not orange, but these are correct, but this is not a correct corner piece. So these two are not where they should be, and these two are not where they should be. You can just see that. Now, however, if you have a case like this, where they all belong where they are, but they're just twisted, don't twist the corners of your cube. What you need to do is wait a little bit. I'll be coming to that because that is the next step. So, were we here? I don't think so. But that's fine because there can be a number of possible permutations with just these four mixed around. So, what you do, if you don't have any which actually belongs in that spot, no matter if it's twisted or not, then what you need to do is that you need to put that in your bottom right corner of the cube, not by moving the U there, but by turning the cube. Otherwise, you just need to, if you have this case where all of them do not belong there, just pick a random one and do this algorithm until you get one, which will probably be on the next turn. So, let's get started. U, R, U inverted, L inverted, U, R inverted, U inverted, L. So, this belongs in this spot, no matter if it's like this, or this, or this, but it still belongs there. So I'm going to be putting this in my bottom right corner. So, how to solve this? Well, just do this. If you have one that is like this or twisted in your bottom right corner, do the algorithm again if the others don't belong there. U, R, U inverted, L inverted, U, R inverted, U inverted, L. Why I told you this was because if you didn't, then these would just keep on getting swapped, because the algorithm just swaps these. So now, as you can see, these just need to be twisted. There are many other cases that you can get, like 2 that need to be twisted, my case, which is 3, diagonal with 2 diagonal, or the full thing. So, I'm going to start with the full thing. So, when you have the full thing, you can just select any, but you might not have the full thing. As I said, there's other cases that you can get. So, if you have the full thing, then put any random one in the bottom right corner. If you don't, put one that needs to be twisted in the bottom right corner. Do this algorithm until this gets corrected, or the piece that you would like to be twisted gets corrected. That's what I meant. So, after you correct that piece, if it's diagonal, then you don't need to twist this piece. So you can just move this 2 times and then complete it. Here's how the algorithm goes. Turn this and then do this. U inverted, R inverted, U, R. Keep on doing that until it gets solved. And complete the algorithm. This gets solved, this needs to get twisted, do the same thing. Some tutorials say to do it like R inverted, down inverted, R, D, but that can get a little slow sometimes. So, because these aren't really meant for speed cubing, so if you do this, and these three are better to go fast with, so I like to do this. And the cube is solved. Congratulations! If you followed my words correctly, you've solved the Rubik's Cube. Please subscribe and like and share. My next video will be hitting on the more math side. So, see you next time.